Hello, good morning everyone. Am I audible? Good morning. Am I audible? Hello. Am I audible? Hello. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Last class we were doing what? Last class we were talking about steel structure, then the advantages and disadvantages of your steel structure over RCC we were talking. So today, if I go, I have some notes of your seniors. If I can, I'll show you. Okay, let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? My screen is visible. Hello. Is my screen visible? Hello.
No, ma'am.
Hmm? So these are your physical properties. If we talk about your physical properties of steel, we were talking not yesterday. The last class we were talking about the steel. Then these are some of the physical properties of your steel. Okay. So you see here, this your physical properties of your steel generally depend on your chemical composition, okay, and the rolling thickness of the heat treatment and stress. These are some of your physical properties which you should know, and you'll get in all any type of problems you solve, etc. Okay, so this is your modulus of elasticity, which should be of your steel. It should be 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square, and your shear modulus C or G, it is of your steel, will be this much. Okay, then comes your, these are some of the again the physical properties. Physical Poisson's ratio mu, it is generally between 0.3 to 0.5. Okay, and the coefficient of thermal expansion is how much? 12 into 10 to the power minus 6. This is your coefficient of thermal expansion. Now these were some of your physical properties, right, of your steel. So you have some chemical compositions also. So what it says, your chemical composition of steel. These chemical composition of steel are, some of the steel are carbon, sulfur, magnesia and silicon. Out of these, carbon has maximum influence on physical and mechanical properties of steel. Okay, so you know that your steel is composed of your carbon, maximum content is your carbon, sulfur, magnesia, silicon, etc. Okay, based on
Ma'am,
these
screen is blank.
strain. I was asking you people, where is your this one? You visible or not? Wait, let me again change them. Visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these physical properties, we have talked about some of the physical properties. This is generally a small idea I'm giving you about the steel. Okay, so the chemical composition, generally you will have your carbon, right? So that has maximum influence. Your carbon will have your maximum influence on the physical and mechanical properties. Then you have this one, iron carbon alloy containing up to 2% steel are called carbon steel. Okay, those having more than 2% are called cast steel. Okay, so these are your, when you have your carbon up to 2%. Okay, when you have your carbon up to 2%, what is that called? That is your carbon steel. That is called your carbon steel. When you have on your iron carbon alloy that contains up to 2% carbon, then it is called a carbon steel. Otherwise, if it has more than 2%, it is called your cast steel. Okay. With increase in carbon, the tensile strain increases. See, now we are just talking about some of the properties, the sections, different sections, what your steel can have. Okay, once we go forward again, then we have to solve some questions on your connections, how bolted connections, welded connections, all those things you have to design, or you have to solve the questions. Okay, now just theory portions, we are going through the theory, basic theory portions. Okay, so these is another, these are your chemical points, chemical composition of your steel. With increase in the carbon, the tensile strain increases. Your tensile strain increases with the increase in carbon. Okay, so carbon is the main influencer in your steel. Okay, when you have up to 2%, it is called what? Carbon steel. If it is more than 2%, it is called cast steel. And when your carbon again increases, the tensile strain also increases in your steel. Okay, but the ductility fall, causing the steel to be more brittle. Okay, more, see, there is a range of, the carbon content I was telling you in the first class also. So when your carbon content becomes too much more in your steel, then what happens? Since your steel is ductile in nature, no, it can, it has a tensile strength, higher tensile strength, and it is ductile. But if your carbon content is more, too much carbon content is there, then what happens? It will lose its ductility, and it will it will move towards your brittle nature. Okay, so it will become brittle. It will not show any more ductile nature. Okay. Again, another point is what? If the carbon content is reduced, the steel will be softer and the ductile, but also softer and ductile, but also weaker, however, by allowing chronicle. Okay, however, by allowing chromium, nickel, vanadium, etc., the tensile strength can be increased while retaining the desired ductility. Okay, so as I told you, I think someone is there. Where is the unlock meeting? Okay, so we have what? I told you, like, if it is more, your carbon content is more than the required one, then what happens? It will lose its ductile nature and it will become brittle, right? It will become brittle. But also, suppose you are thinking it will become more, so you are reducing the carbon content in your steel. But if you reduce it too much, if it is very much less your carbon content, then what happens? It will become more softer and ductile, obviously, but it will become weaker also. Okay, so there is a range which you must know, like what is the for carbon content. It should not be more, it should not be less also. Okay, see here, like we were talking, it is, it should be between your 0.2 to 0.35%. Okay, then you have, now we'll come and talk about this roll steel sections. Okay. So in your roll steel section, what happens? In the design process, one of the main object is the reselection selection of the appropriate cross section for the individual member of a structure. So it is more convenient to choose a standard cross section shape that is widely available rather to choose unit dimension, the required unit fabrication. Understood? That means what? I was telling you about your cross sections. That means the roll steel sections I was talking. In market, it is available. Like you will get some. Sorry for the Venn diagram, but consider it to be straight. Okay, straight eye. So this is the ready-made roll sections which are available. You will get I sections. You will get T sections. Hmm. You will get T sections, you will get channel sections. All these are already experimented, and then these shapes are given to us, and this is already prepared and then kept. You can take the roll section. The standard roll sections are these, and some bars are also there, right? Rectangular bars. Okay, so the in steel structure, the main aim is what? To the selection of your appropriate cross section. Selection of your appropriate cross section. Whenever you're considering any member, you're making a steel structure, right? You are suppose a bridge, above the bridge you're making the trusses, etc. Okay. So what will happen? They will have different members. Hmm. They can have different process, etc. So, the members of a structure, suppose you are making, these are different members of your steel structure. Okay, so that sections you should have a selection of those shapes. Okay, but since there are available these kind of standard sections already prepared in CAP, so we can also directly choose these sections. Okay, so it is more convenient to choose a standard cross section. Otherwise you will be thinking, you will have to again join each and every rectangular bars, so it becomes little difficult. Okay, so different categories of standard shape of steel in terms by hot rolling and cold rolling. Structural steel can be rolled in various shapes and sizes. Selection having larger model of section in proportion to the cross section are preferred. Steel section are named according to the cross section shape. Roll steel section, which are rapidly available in market due to its frequent demand, are called regular steel sections. Okay, I hope you understood this part also. So it can be your hot roll, cold roll steels also. Okay, your steel which is prepared, you can which is got not, it can be either hot roll steel or it can be cold roll steel. Okay, so there are different sections also. Okay, there are different sections which you like I was talking about these different sections, rolled beams. It can be, these are the abbreviations given to you according to the IS codes. So okay, okay. So these are your roll beam sections. Okay, which generally you will get in the market according to Indian Standard Bureau. Okay, so ISJB It can be your IS. There are different roll beams, then again columns. So we have these are ready-made. Suppose you want to make suppose you want to make rolled directly, you want to consider a beam, okay, for a member, for a structure member, then you can directly purchase or you can directly take these sections which are ready made and prepared already, which are your ISJB, Indian Standard known as your Indian Standard Junior Beam, ISHB, Indian Standard High Beams, okay, heavy beams, then ISMB, Indian Standard Medium Weight Beam, ISLB, Indian Standard Low Weight Beam, ISWB, Indian Standard ISWB is your Indian Standard Weight Beams. Okay, these are known as your this roll channels are your these are your rolls channel sections. Same thing. If it is beam, this becomes your B. If it is channel section, it becomes your C. Okay. In the same way, again you have your angle sections also. Okay, then we have your angle sections. ISA equal angle section. ISU is your unequal angle sections. Okay. Then you have your roll steel bars. There can be different bars also, square, round. Okay. Then you have your roll T section. So these things you will get in your steel book also. Okay. I think you have used that in your previous semesters also. Steel book you will get. Okay. Roll T sections. These are your different roll T sections. Then you have your tubular sections are also there. Now we will come to these. There are different sections. Okay. I think I can give you as an assignment. Okay. Okay. So now we will be talking about rivets. So when you have steel members, right? You have to connect different members. Like suppose one channel section is there, one simple square bar is there, one T section is there. You want to connect these. Okay, these members. How you will connect? You can connect it either by riveting, by bolting, or by welding. These are the three techniques you can use for connecting these members. Okay. So the first one we are going to talk is your rivets. Okay. So what is a rivet? Rivet is made up of a round ductile steel bar pieces known as shank. These are your shank. Okay. These are your shank with the head of one end. This is and it is made up of mild steel or high tensile steels. This is your head. This is your shank. Your shank can have threads also like this. Okay. So there are different, these are your different types of rivets. It can be your pen rivet, snap rivet, sorry. It can be your flat counter shrunk rivet, round counter shrunk rivet. This thing, this threads which I was talking about, this is Absent in your rivets. Okay, this is in your bolts. Okay, so pen rivet. This can be a snap rivet, flat counter shank rivet, round counter shank rivet. Okay, so you have before riveting, after riveting. You see, these are your two plates. Huh? This is one plate. Suppose rectangular plate they are taking. These two are your two rectangular plates. Suppose now these two have to be connected. So how they are connecting? This one by riveting these two with the help of this rivet. Okay, so now this got jointed. This was sorry, this portion which I have shown you, like they have this chunk has gone inside. It was not inside now. Why? That's why they have written here before riveting, and this is after riveting. It will be like this. That means when this portion is entered now, this shank portion of the rivet, when it is inserted here in the plate, these two plates through the plates, after that again this is pressed. Okay, this portion which will come out now, this one. So this portion is again pressed, and then at the end, after riveting your connection will be looking in this way. Okay, so these were your rivets. These were different types of rivets. Now what is riveting? Riveting, I told you, it is the process of joining together pieces of metal by inserting a metal pen known as rivet to the whole of the pieces to be connected, and forming a head at the end of the rivet to prevent such metal piece from coming out. It is nothing but this one. Okay, riveting means what? When you use a rivet to join two metal plates, or not only plates. Suppose you have taken a I section and a channel section, and you want to connect the, suppose I'm telling you, sorry, it should be consider it to be straight. Okay, straight. Suppose this is your channel section, right? Now from here, this portion is like this. No? Hmm. This is your channel section actually. When you see the view, 3D view, okay. So this is your channel section. Hmm? This is your channel section, right? So when this is your channel section, you want to connect here an I section, suppose on this portion. This I section will go up, suppose. So you need to connect this two now. So how you will connect? You can connect it with the help of rivets here, this big portion. Okay, so this is riveting. That means connecting two metal plates or members, any steel members together. Okay, and then pressing this bottom portion when it comes out, you press it and then it becomes round in shape. This is your riveting. Okay, then these are your patterns of riveted bolted joints. Okay, see, there are different patterns how you connect your different members. Okay, okay, so these are your different patterns. Like it can be chain riveting, it can be staggered riveting, it can be diamond riveting. Okay, so these are your different patterns. Like suppose I'll tell you, this is one plate, this one is at the bottom. Okay. So this is one plate, right? This is the bottom portion, and this plate is above. I am one. So this plate is above, okay, this portion, and this one is below. And now here, this is the common point where these are overlapping each other. These two plates are overlapping each other. So now how these two are connected? This is not vaulting, sorry, betting is done here, 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 and from the side view, if you see, you will see the side view to be, when you see these now when these two plates are jointed now, with the help of riveting, when you see from the side you will be looking in this way. These are jointed here. So in this plate, this side view, you will see what, like this, and here these plates are enlarged this side no. So from when you see from the top, you will see, from side, now you're looking, these three are there, no, three rivets are there. So this joint is bigger, okay, this joint is bigger, three you will be looking now. So this is one, this is the other one, this is the other one. That means from side, if you're looking, these three are seen. This one, and this one. Okay. But from top, if you see this one, and now this is known as your chain riveting. Okay. Chain riveting. Why? Because it looks like a regular pattern. You see, this is straight in a straight line. This three are there. This three are there. This three are there. This three. So this is a kind of chain. So this is your chain riveting. Now comes your staggered riveting. This is normal when you have straight joints. This riveting is done straight in a straight line. It is called as your chain riveting. Okay. Now come to your staggered riveting. Now suppose this is one, same plate is here. Now this was simple a chain, the regular straight line connection. Now what is done, one rivet is used here in a straight line, these three are done in a straight line, okay. After that, one more is done at the center. So this is your staggered connection. So this is a staggered connection, you see. Staggered connection means this one zigzag. So staggered connection means here this one. This, 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 this. Right? And from this side also, if you see these pattern, this is zigzag, zigzag. So when you have this kind of zigzag pattern, it is known as your staggered connection. Okay, you have to know this thing, because when you are solving some question, when you're designing a bolted connection or a riveted connection, you will have to know these terms like the chain connection, chain riveting, or the staggered riveting. Staggered means your zigzag. In zigzag way, it is riveted or bolted. Okay. Next is your diamond riveting bolting. So diamond riveting means you have seen this. It is in this pattern. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Consider it to be straight. Okay, straight, 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 straight. So it is like a diamond one. So it is diamond riveting. It is known as your diamond riveting. Now, riveting is no longer used in engineering structure for the following reasons. But see, we were talking about riveting because I wanted you people to know, like, there were three connections, the method of connection. Okay, one was what? You're riveting. You can connect two metal parts by, you can connect two metal parts either by riveting, by bolting, or by welding. Okay, so this were the techniques of your riveting. Similar to the riveting is your bolting. Okay, only the difference is what? In bolting, this is your bolt, you will have your threads here. You have seen in your screw, when you see the screws, you will see these threads are there present in your that bolt, nut bolt when you're using, right? So this is present in your bolts. And nowadays, since your this, obviously this will give you more grip here, this portion, the threads, when they are used. So in the balls you have this threads. So what happened is now the riveting is obsolete. Okay, that means your riveting is not used nowadays. This technique is obsolete. It is not used anymore nowadays. Bolting is only done either bolting or welding. But you should know what is riveting, because it was done and it was a method of your connecting. Okay, steel members. Okay, connecting steel members. So now why, this is the reason why your riveting is no longer used in the engineering structures for the, these are the reasons. Okay, the necessity of preheating the rivet prior to riveting. Okay, so what is the one reason why your riveting is now no more used? Because when you rivet, when you do the riveting, you connect two metal plates, what is happening? You need to heat this. When you are connecting these two plates, you have to heat these rivet. Okay, you have to heat it high temperature, and then obviously when you insert here, it will melt this portion of your metal plates, and then when you heat again, then this portion is heated, and then this portion, the outer portion is heated, and then they are again made in this shape. Okay, that means a head is formed here after melting again. So this was one reason, like you had to do the preheating first of all before using the riveted connection. Then the labor code associated with large riveting screws, because see, when you have your when you do the riveting, you will need more laborers, because you have to heat, you have to put the rivet again, and then different because when you are constructing, when you're making a structure of steel, you'll have different members of steel, and you have to connect all the members of the steel. So obviously when you do it with riveting, you will need more number of your labors. Okay, okay, so the next is what? The cost involved in careful inspection. Okay, so riveting, again the cost of your carefully you have to do, otherwise if you your heating is not done properly and your connection is not straight, it may hamper your connection strength. Okay, removal of the cost. Okay, suppose your connection is not done properly. Okay, suppose your connection is not done properly in your riveted connection, what happens when you have to remove that? Again it will take, due to poor installation, when you have to remove that, again what you have to do, You have to, it will cost more again. You will, you have to repair it again. You have to take out the repairs again. You have to fill up the metal hole which you are making with the help of your uh, rivet, preheated rivets. Okay, so that will increase the cost. The high level noise associated with driving the rivets. So when you have to drive the rivet, obviously you have to do the hammering, right? When you do the hammering, then only that will go inside. After heating, again you are using the hammers also to press your rivets when you are connecting two metal plates. So that will increase the noise pollution also. That will do so much of noise when you are hammering. So many connections are there, so many members are there of that particular structure. So it will create so much of noise. So that is also one of the disadvantage, and then that's why it is now obsolete. Okay, understood this portion till now? Hello, hello. Okay, Wangchin Lambu. Lambu. Hmm. I'll do one thing. I have two classes now. The still two classes are there. So for this class, we'll stop here now, and I'll share the link again after 10 minutes. Again, you join in the same class. Okay. Once I share the link, again you join in the same class. We'll do the next class. Okay. Let me. I have some work now. So for 10 minutes, you take break. After that, again we'll join the same class. I think I'll share the attendance link now for this class, and then again, wait. Let me share your attendance link. After that, again in the second class, I'll be taking the attendance. Okay. Wait. Let me share. Steel structure. No? I'll do one thing. I'll share here only. Okay. In your Cisco, 5 minutes is there. In the chat box, I have shared you your attendance link. Okay. Go in the attendance link and give your attendance. Link is open. Okay. Okay. This is your attendance link. You just copy fast, and then after 10 minutes, we'll again meet. Okay. After 10, I'll again share the link for the class once more. Take a break of 10 minutes. Okay. Hello. Everyone is busy giving attendance or what? I'll uh, I'll stop the link. I'll close the link after 10 minutes. Okay, once we start the new class, I'll stop the close the link. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.